Hi there, welcome to today's Sauce Hacker student interview. What is your name and what do you do?
Hi there, my name is Caroline Estelle. I'm from the US. I do a mix of things. So I'll start off with I currently online teach, as well as I'm starting my own marketing agency online.
Lovely. Thank you so much for sharing, Caroline. All right.
Yeah,
So
no.
what attracted you to the Sauce Hacker system? So why did you join and what were you looking to achieve from Sauce Hacker?
Mm. Yeah, well, I saw Peter's video on YouTube and I was like, oh, like he showed me his plaque, like he's talking about the secret. And I'm like, I haven't read this book and I haven't seen this movie. I'm like, what is, first of all, I was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
All in the good way. And he's like, oh, I'm this young and I've done this. And I'm like, he's like 5 years younger than me, so I should probably listen to this guy if he has all this success.
Mm-hmm.
So I came on here as more of I love signing up for programs and personal growth just as is. I guess before the program, I was traveling. So I was in South America. I just had finished a teaching contract, but I was feeling very anxious. So this whole
Mm-hmm.
time I was calling my best friend and just kind of not really feeling myself.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes like there's two sides of me, I would say, not in a bad way. Just sometimes you could see like, oh, she's so polite, she's so fun, this and that. And sometimes it would switch and I'd get really frustrated and angry and, upset about certain things, which is
Mm-hmm.
normal, but I was just feeling it very strongly. So I'm like,
Mm.
what's going on? Why am I anxious while I'm traveling? And why am I, feeling all these frustrations and other
Yeah.
feelings? So that's the main reason I came here. I'm like, oh, I might as well give it a shot.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying that you've never heard about the secret and the law of attraction and all of that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Wow.
no.
All right. So basically, you're the first student that we've had that we're doing the interview and you've never heard about these things. So tell me a little bit about what you've learned. Like, does it resonate with you about the law of attraction, what Peter teaches, memory flipping? How has the experience been for you so far?
Mm. It's been really good because I've already had like a kind of like a self-care regimen, almost like, breathing techniques. And I'm like, oh, this will calm down my frustration. This is it. This
Yeah.
is what I need. And I think the memory flipping, like once it was introduced, was a really good tool, because it exactly what he says. It gets to the source of whatever frustration. Like a lot of my frustration, it was interesting because I talked to my mom like, hey, like why could this be? And it turns out when I was like, we all had this revelation, but when I was born, I didn't speak, I didn't cry until I was like 3 years old. So they were like,
Mm.
oh, she could be autistic, she could be this. So a lot of frustration came with like not being able to express myself properly. Just all of this, I was like, it just happened when I was 3, like having my brother speak for me. So what he taught has really just helped me get to the source of exactly
Mm-hmm.
what my frustrations are, and has really helped me because I don't see how my life could have gone any differently if I hadn't at least seen what was going on in my past, and really dug into it, as opposed to like, oh, I'm scared, like, oh, I have these tendencies now and I'm going to keep living the life I'm living, which at the time was just still working hard but very tough for me. So yeah, it just got to a lot of things and helped me really have a mindfulness practice and really improve the life that I have now and go for one that I want. And yeah, that's about it.
Fantastic. That's quite an insight, quite a revelation that you've had, right? So basically, you
Mm.
said you have been practicing, self-care, you like signing up for self-development programs, like you've
Oh yeah.
saying. So what kind of results were you getting before compared to the results that you've got or are getting with Sosaker?
I think I signed up mainly for this because I wasn't getting the results I wanted, or mainly I wasn't the person that I wanted to be to get these results.
Got
So,
it.
you sign up for a course and you're like, I'm gonna start a business. I'm gonna do this. And I did before Peter's program, but I wasn't taking action. Like certain
Mm.
things like, got to week 4 and they're like, oh, you need to take the business seriously. And I was like, seriously, what? No, I can't do that. I
Yeah.
was like, what do you mean I have to take it seriously? I can't just watch these videos and feel good about myself and then that's it. Like just the inaction and the frustration of not getting something right away. Just certain things kept coming back in my life. So I think the before results were basically none, or it would get to a point that I'd stop. I
Mm-hmm.
think now the results are more, now I know why. Now I know why, well, I don't listen, sometimes I don't listen to rules very well, or like why I am the way I am in certain aspects. And it's helped me to start and take more action and really feel good about the action. And like when I wake up, and just a more positive environment around me, not only, in the work field, but also just personal life, relationships, a lot of things.
Amazing. That's absolutely fantastic. Okay, so Caroline, what would you say is one of your favorite tools, techniques in the program thus far? What really resonates with you and has helped you in your growth thus far?
Okay. I really like the tapping demonstration. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
Peter had kind of like the therapist on the side that really specialized in this. It was amazing. Her results came so quickly. I was like, oh, it's just because, she's an expert in this, of course. But then I started doing it. I'm like, oh, tapping really works for me. I do the heart math. I do a mix of both of them. And it's really something that resonates with me because like, he mentioned like really only focus on your finger and like letting go. And I feel sometimes a lot of frustration, so much emotions like come up for me. So like when I'm tapping, I'm like, I can't just focus on this tapping. So it really helps me just like let go of all this energy, because otherwise I don't know where it would go, like in my body or how it would be expressed. So I think that's definitely one of the biggest things. And of course the QCF, and kind of just replaying it and repeating it for it to become a real, like for your subconscious to kind of think about it when you reflect on the memory. So yeah,
Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. So how long did it start for you to, or how long did it take for you to start seeing results and feeling results from the time you joined the program? Was it like instantly, or you had to like wait a couple days or weeks? How was it for you?
Yeah, so I had been doing at least some meditation before, so like that, at least that part wasn't, new to me. So like the, doing the QCF at night and stuff like that wasn't really much of a challenge at the start, like to get that in my daily routine. Not that doing it itself, yeah, of course it takes practice and time, but like getting that routine in was definitely something I prioritized. I would say probably just in week 2. So I feel like the week 1 was kind of like a reflection and a lot of really valuable information. And week
Introductory
2,
kind of.
yeah, yeah, it was really good to learn about like how my brain works. Like otherwise,
Hmm.
I would just kind of all go over my head, or like I don't know how this goes. Like I'm not sure. So I'd say week 2, once I started really using the QCF and especially the tapping. So when I was able to get more of like, okay, what are these memories that I do want to flip, and getting more down to the detail, and asking like, my parents, asking my brothers, asking friends, like, hey, what do you remember about this time? Or like just childhood friends and whatnot. So yeah, I'd definitely say week 2, and week 3 is where I really started seeing like, okay, this is a daily practice. This is like I'm flipping some really good root cause memories of frustration, of inaction, of feeling inadequate, which came up so much. I didn't realize everyone's like, I feel inadequate. I feel inadequate. I'm like, well, I got a lot of work to do, but in a
Yeah,
good way. A lot of I don't know, a lot of work to do within. So yeah, definitely a lot of results so
amazing.
far.
Good stuff. Amazing stuff. Great. So, what advice would you give anybody sitting on the fence, considering whether joining the program or like, is this for me? Is this not? What advice would you give them?
Mm. Well, I think Peter also brought it up in his video. Like, what is it worth to create a life and like just routines that you love? Like, what is that worth to you? Is that worth
Mm,
like the money you're going to be paying today? Because the practices you can use can ultimately just can change your life, and it can change your life in all aspects. So it doesn't have to like only focus on personal care. It's he's relating it to a lot of things that people do struggle with overall. So I would say the amount of money you pay now, you're gonna see if you really take it into action, like the results in your life. And a lot of things like, oh, like I have anxiety, I have this, I have that. A lot of things you're gonna be able to really not to tackle, but to reimagine. And then when you do think of the memory, it's so cool that when you do flip it and you're like, oh, I actually think like kindergarten looked like this for me. Like, man, I didn't have any speech problems, or this just looked different. Like, I feel happy about these memories. Like, man, I could
yeah,
really do this. Like, I feel so much better about my current day situation,
of course.
just by signing up.
This whole
Yeah.
course is about, most of the time, creating this wonderful relationship with yourself. You get to understand yourself at such a deep level, and during this process, you begin to have such a deep love for yourself as well, which is absolutely amazing. All right, so thank you,
Mm.
Caroline, so much for joining me in today's interview. Do you have any last minute thoughts you'd like to share, anything at all before we end?
No, I'll just say for anyone on the fence, just go for it. See what happens. Yep.
Thanks so much, Caroline, and hope you have a wonderful day, and speak to you soon.
Yeah, it sounds great. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.